Hey, what's up, Sagittarius? Welcome to this timeless general tarot reading. As you are probably not familiar with my style of reads, I prefer to have a clear sign from Spirit about what messages they have for you. So, I'm not a big fan of drawing cards off the top. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out, and it's too hasty for my personal taste. What I prefer to see is a card fly out, I prefer to see a card flip out, or I prefer to see a card sticking out. And the only reason I'm bothering to explain all of this to you is to let you know that if you would like to skip ahead to any points where a card is revealed, simply check the timestamps in the description box, and you can move forward beyond my meanderings and petty wordings that are mostly meant to stall for time as I attempt to get some kind of shuffle to reveal some kind of message for you. It's been an interesting... So, since I have forewarned you to that, I'm just simply letting you know that if you get tired of what I have to say, you have an option to move on. I understand that there's times where it's, not your prerogative to sit there and listen or sit there and wait for this to occur, but with time, once enough of the cards come out, the readings actually do start to get interesting. So if you do have the patience, if you're willing to wait and listen, you can. If you are not so inclined to do so, I have provided an option for you that allows you to move on. So, alright. So, let's see here. We're at 2 minutes, and you have yet to have a drop. To contrast that, in Virgo's reading and Scorpio's reading, at about 2 minutes, there were already three cards for those two readings. So, it's just the nature of things that some of the reads are not as inclined to drop cards as quickly, it would seem. There are some reads where the cards are willing to fly up, and it's almost as if every time I mention that there's trouble flying the cards out, a card flies out. So, to open up this reading, you got the Six of Cups in reverse. So this symbolizes that you have found yourself not just kind of dreaming about the past, but you are trapped in your dreams about the past. Your nostalgia it's not healthy. This is a sign of unhealthy nostalgia. You are not just reminiscing on old times here and there. It's like you are... And I'm going to have to see what kind of clarification show up for this, but the idea here is that you are letting some kind of history control you, control your mentalism. You are... Like, it's almost as if you are dreaming of the good old days, and you're letting that deter your progress forward. You're not just remembering the good old days because they were good. You're remembering the good old days because you are, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're like dreaming of them to come, or you're like, dang it, I'm really missing the word. It's like in Napoleon Dynamite, the uncle that's like always, like, he's always like making excuses for his life and where he's at in life because of something in his history. So he's always like blaming his football coach from back in the day. Coach, if coach had only put me in, everything would be fine now, and I wouldn't be here, kind of thing. It's kind of like that. You're being defeated by something. Whoops. And on that though, I got a card stuck here. I mean, that's like the example that very easily comes to mind for me. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or not, but that's essentially what happens. Is there's like this cliche uncle he's always like stuck in the past, and that's kind of what this is. you're not just like remembering the past, you are stuck there. And it's taking up precious mentalism that could be serving you here and now. And instead that mentalism is like keeping you trapped. So there's actually one other read that got this card. I think it was maybe Capricorn. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so that dropped out for you, but nothing else is managing to emerge here. There was the Six of Pentacles in the upright that was close to coming out, but I didn't take that. The Six of Pentacles would signify that you would be getting help with this particular situation. Some kind of material assistance. But the thing that is, though, that a lot of times, like, there's somebody you're stuck on often. Or there's some kind of situation that didn't pan out in your history that's got you down. And it's not just that it got you down, but it's that it's holding you down. But I'm not getting any other clarifications here at the moment. Alright, Spirit. Anything else here for Sagittarius? Any other clear messages here for Sagittarius, Great Spirit? Great Goddess. Great Goddess of the Earth. What kind of messages? How else can you clarify this reverse Six of Cups? Reverse Six of Cups. That's too many. 4 cards. I don't... the most, I only like to take 1 or 2 cards on flip like that. So my bad if you really like these cards. The other thing is this card is a water sign card, and so it's all even it's mismatching your energy as well. Whoops. Alright, so not sure what this is about. Eight of Pentacles is a sign of work ethic. It is a sign of persistence. And it's in the upright. So the star in reverse, though, is a sign of... Dang it, sometimes I forget what that means. Let me double check what the star means in the reverse. I know in the upright it's got to do with... It actually is very good in the upright. It's very similar to the sun in the upright, but in the reverse it has to do with, like... Let me double check here. Okay. So, like, the thing about the star in reverse is that it actually matches up with this. Because if you get stuck in this energy, the result is the star in reverse, which is that you don't... You've kind of lost the belief in good to a certain extent. If you are negatively ruminating about some kind of thing in your past, you are going to have trouble feeling hope and joy and happiness and believing in your good and believing that you deserve good. And it is going to stall you out here. So these two make sense. As for, like, these two energies are matching to a decent extent. I'm not sure what this is about. Why would the Eight of Pentacles be stuck between these energies? Because the Eight of Pentacles, if you're stuck here, it's hard to have the energy to do this. It's hard to have the energy to push. Just notice that there's a little bit of something on my card. I have to deal with that later. So yeah, there is something going on here that So I'm sorry, I'm actually a little stalled here. The I'm going to have to get some kind of clarification as to how the work ethic of the Eight of Pentacles... Okay, so one thing, though, about the Eight of Pentacles. At face value, it is about all of these pentacles and the persistence to continue on making them. One thing, though, is because it's flanked by these energies that it can represent is that you are, despite all of your effort, you are a little weary. You're weary about the journey that remains for you. But it's in the upright. Let me see if I can get some other clarifications for this, because just... if it was in the reverse, it would be very simple. But it's not. So it's almost like you're... despite how you feel here, you're not letting that stop you from trying to progress. Or you might even be progressing. And even though you're progressing, you aren't under that... what's the word I'm looking for? You might be progressing further than you are allowing yourself to believe. Which is kind of interesting. And in fact, you're holding yourself back if you don't get to the point where you are properly understanding how much work you have actually done. So that's kind of weird. Or it's definitely like mix matching the energies. If the Eight of Pentacles wasn't there, that would be pretty straightforward. The Star reversed and the Six of Cups reversed match each other pretty good. So that's very interesting how you could possibly be stuck in those, in that hopelessness. It's just weird. If you're actually stuck... Okay, so... Man, what the heck is this all about? So now you are getting clarified here by the reverse Five of Swords and the King of Swords. So the reversed Five of Swords is about... Sorry, I'm just checking how this glare looks. It's something I've got to fix. I'm going to try and fix my positioning here. The Five of Swords is about somebody, but the idea is about you being abandoned because, or it's about being abandoned because you are not seeing the path ahead properly. And these other people are tired of following along a ridiculous path. So it is a card of, it's a card of abandonment to a certain extent. And if you are feeling hopeless like this, if you're feeling really negative, that can lead people to want to leave you. To leave that negativity, more specifically. To seek a different route. So I can see the... I can see how the Five of Swords reversed could lead... Or, I see how the Star reversed could lead to that. That makes sense. What I'm a little miffed on is... Why is the King of Swords here? Like... The only thing I can imagine is you are... The King of Swords could be here to... Maybe the King of Swords is somebody that you lose. Maybe the King of Swords is somebody that sets it straight to you, because they're often, as the King of Swords, they are effective verbal communicators and truth speakers. So to a certain extent, it signifies that some kind of prolific truth teller isn't going to beat around the bush with you, and they're gonna say it straight with you. So you might go to King of Swords to figure out why this is happening to you to a certain extent. But still, kind of weird. Once again, it's like the Eight of Pentacles here and the King of Swords here is out of place. These three cards make sense. It makes sense those make sense. I'm a little confused on the other card, on the other two. So I'm going to keep looking for some clarity here because I'm actually going to try clarifying. I don't actually usually have to clarify it in my reads, cards in particular. Typically it comes out, so I'm going to ask for a clarifier in specific for the Eight of Pentacles. Spirit, is there any way to clarify this Eight of Pentacles? Great Goddess of the Earth, do you have any way to, what are you trying to insinuate with this Eight of Pentacles? Okay, so clarifying the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Two of Wands in the upright. You have some work to do in the form of working on your outlook. And both of these are in the positive direction. So it's not as if you are given a sign that you're going to struggle doing that if you did it. With the Two of Wands, it is about, to a certain extent, it is about achievement. It is often defined as a form of ignorance, and that's not the right word all the way, but to a certain extent ignorance, because this person is like, they're very proud of themselves for two wands, but at the end of the day it's only two wands. So they're in like, there's like a mixed bag of nuts here, where the person is simultaneously an achiever, yet they haven't really achieved that much. So it's a call to work on your perspective, which that does match in with these two cards, and it kind of makes sense in this regard because this is about work ethic and persistence. So kind of what this is suggesting is, I mean, it's really not, it's actually just pretty straightforward here. It's actually just asking you to work on your perspective, to work yourself out of this perspective. Whatever you are hanging yourself on, whatever you're hung up on in the form of nostalgia, you are being asked to work on broadening your horizon. And if you don't, you will be stuck in this hopelessness, and there will be consequences for you in the form of people who are not going to want to follow you down this energy of hopelessness. And I'm not quite sure they should, honestly. And that's what this card is suggesting. It's suggesting that these people leaving you are actually the ones in the correct state of being, because they aren't following you down this path of feeling hopeless and worthless and all that. Everything that the star reverse can connotate. So that's interesting. That's actually a nifty, it's nifty enough clarifier, I suppose. That makes some sense. So let me see here then. What kind of clarity, is there any way to clarify the King of Swords, or is there, I suppose actually what I'm going to ask for is there any, okay, so let's ask for an extension here. What energy is there beyond the King of Swords? The easiest read on the King of Swords is that it's somebody who's going to just have to, okay, so we have something coming out here. Man. I don't know what this has to do with the reverse wheel of fortune. So that's disappointing, because that doesn't really clarify the King of Swords. So give me a second here. Let me see if I can clarify the King of Swords in particular. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse would suggest that fate is working against you. In the upright, the Wheel of Fortune is about fate turning in your favor. The powers that be, powers beyond our world, so to speak, the higher plane, higher powers, such things as this, working behind the scenes to your benefit, but that's why it's disappointing in the reverse, because they are not working in your benefit. So let me real quick double check if there's anything else about the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. I haven't actually seen this card in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's just things not going your way. Which is, the easy way to read that then would be, if you don't listen to this King of Swords, the advice from this King of Swords, if you don't embody this King of Swords energy, you're just going to get stuck repeating your same old negative cycles over and over and over again. So more or less this is a warning, and it's not like, and it's a little strange because like the universe is supposed to like want what's best for us and good for us, and that's what faith is supposed to be. Faith is supposed to be the fact that good is always there at our fingertips, but when you continue these cycles, fate doesn't produce that. Fate is going to work against you. It's going to match your energy, so to speak. So that's the best way I can see this, is that you're going to, it's a warning to, you've got to work out of these energy, you've got to work out of this. Whatever this is, you have to let this go. And the potential is there for you to do so. But if you don't, like, there's going to be consequences. And it's not just that there's going to be consequences, but you're going to get stuck in this cycle. So one last thing, like, I mean, this is pretty clear. This whole message is imploring you to get over this. So real quick, before I end this reading, because that's as clear as it's going to get, like, the only thing left here is I'm going to see if I can clarify the King of Swords for you. I don't know if that's calling you to embrace the quality of the King of Swords, or if that is somebody else who is going to be in a position to not listen to... Let me see what this card is. So, the King of Swords is in the perfect position to not care about how you feel. They're in the perfect position to tell you what you need to hear, to say what you need to hear. The King of Swords is about, like, spitting the truth. They're about word slaying. They're about being critical. But you're lucky that this King of Swords is in the upright, because it's not as if it's in the reverse. And it's some kind of toxic king that is trying to get like a narcissistic edge over you. It is in the upright. So it's a righteous person. So you can't take from face value that this person, this individual, is trying to control you, to use you. They are actually, or according to this reading, their energy is righteous, and they are trying to help you, is the bottom line here. So I'm going to give this a few more shots to see if I can maybe get a little bit of clarity for you on the King of Swords. But, I mean, this half of the read is all just consequences. This is where you have the options to work on things. But there is a lot of warning that you might not be on board with that. I mean, it's not... The momentum you're on is going down this route. And you're going to have to put some serious work into turning this around. The potential is there, but you're going to have to put the effort in. You're going to have to try to really take to heart what this person has to say to you. And they know what they're talking about. because they've achieved their own stability. They've achieved their own stability, or this also could be a clarifier that this person is a part of your family. This card definitely has a lot of family significations in it. It also could signify that it's not just this King of Swords that would be willing to help you out, that you have even more people than that. So that's part of it. It could also be a community of people that could help you out. Maybe the King of Swords could point you towards a community to help you out with whatever this is that's stuck in your craw. It bodes well. So once again, like, the solutions that you have optimistic and positive solutions at your fingertips. The parts that are outside, like the parts outside of your negative momentum, are there to help you. The problem is that what this reading is signifying, that the parts that come down to you, you are not going to have an easy time turning around. For whatever reason, you are having a tough time getting over this, irregardless of like the options that you've got to deal with it. Yeah. Okay, thanks. All right, well, I think I'm gonna leave it there because I just got some food upstairs, so I think it's just a perfect time to call this. At this point, it's pretty clear to me that I don't know what this is in your head, and I'm sorry that that you maybe, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's negative. It doesn't serve. It's not serving you. It's got you stuck. Like, it is so cliche. It's Napoleon Dynamite's uncle talking about his coach not putting him in, and he's letting that control why he is in such a boring place, and why in such a lame place. And you can be so much better than that. And you don't want to lose these people along the way because you feel like this all the time. And it's not just going to change itself. The universe isn't on your side on this one. Fate's not on your side on this one. The fate does not find this righteous. It does not see your side on this one. So it's going to give you the tools here. It's going to try to help you make this difference. But your tendency is to get stuck here, unfortunately. That is what this reading is signifying, that you have a propensity to you're really sticking to whatever this is. If this was a personal reading, we could discuss in detail whatever this is for you. So I can't speculate on what it is specifically, but it's got you. So when people, one last thing that just kind of came to my head is, one warning is that what you lose, you actually could lose these in the process. Since you're losing these people in the Five of Swords, you could lose familial stability and some kind of masculine leader in your life. And you might be on a cycle of doing that. And that would suck. These people now have got to mean more to you than whatever this was back then. Keeping these people and this stability has to mean more than thinking this is worth hating forever. And I hate the term forgive and forget. I don't like to forgive easily. It's tough. And I really don't like to forget easily. So you don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. But you've got to try to move on. You've got to try to get to a point where you are working on, like, you've got to you can accept that this sucked, and you can accept that this was wrong, and you don't have to forgive anybody who did this to you. But the best way to do that is not letting it control you anymore. And that is how you can exact your revenge to a certain extent. What's the saying, like, the best way to beat a hater is to succeed? Or, like, the best way to hurt the hater is to succeed, or something like that. So I don't want to impart that you should take revenge necessarily, but if you're having trouble forgetting and forgiving, then I'm not going to call you to forgive and forget, because I hate hearing that stuff. It's some people's cup of tea, but in this instance, with how much it's stuck in your craw, it probably pisses you off to all hell when you hear that. So I'm trying to give you this a third option, which is that you don't have to forgive, you don't have to forget, but you can excel beyond this. Give this situation some reason why it was wrong for happening to you. And that reason is because you have the strength to move on from this. You don't have to do some cliche forgive, forget, baloney stuff while you're at it. Because I hate to see you get stuck here. This is not cool for you. You're not doing this to get stuck here. You're doing this to try to be correct about who you are. And you're doing this to try to stabilize what it means to be yourself. But at the end of the day, you've got to love yourself enough to not get stuck in these cycles. You can lose way too much. Especially if you have people that are willing to help you. And especially when the universe is telling me that you actually have the capacities to feel better, to broaden your horizons enough out of this. You have all of the tools at your disposal. But you've got to find your way to forgive, forget, or exceed this. And if you can do that, I think fate will turn around for you. And you'll be able to have the hope and joy that you deserve. So, I think I'm going to leave it at that, Sagittarius. I appreciate you for making it to this reading, and I appreciate that if you stuck with it to this point, that you did, because at first I wasn't sure where this was going. But it came together. And that's typically what's been going on with my readings. They have to build up some momentum, but once they built up momentum, I can usually get to this point where it's like there's something flowing through here that I can see. So, and I hope that I got through to you on this, whatever this is. I hope you can overcome this. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And I really appreciate that you made it to this. So, take care, good luck, and do what you gotta do, friend.